Hi, my name is Carter Millhouse. I've been a STEP trainer, Salmon and Trout Education Project, and have raised and incubated in the classroom for over 20 years now. And I'm here today to show you the new Aqua Euro USA chiller setup. It's a different chiller. I think it's a much better one. It's much quieter in the classroom. There's a different power head that has to go and what the different components are. So I guess first and foremost is you'll need to have an AquaClear 50 power head. All of this will be delineated for you at the end of the video. When you first take it out, there will be some different pieces to set it up with. And one reason we want to use this power head is because the tubing that we'll be using to hook up fits directly into this round opening. The power head will get set up on the end inside of the aquarium. So we'll get that. You also will have your Aqua Euro USA chiller, and it comes boxed up, ready for you to go. It's really a compact unit. I like it a lot. And the best thing is it's really quiet. Control switches are on the side, just an on and off. And there's an electronic panel for setting up your temperature on the front. It also, the third big component you'll need is, this is made by Arctica. It's a nano chiller installation kit. Comes with your tubing and two tubing shaped pipes. You're going to be setting those up. You're only going to use one, the S-shaped tube. You'll cut tubing to it. The Aqua Euro chiller comes with some caps, which are really nice. They come plugged up here. They're clearly labeled in and out. So in is the one that you're going to hook up to the bent tubing, this, and out will just be regular tubing and hooked up, and those screw onto the top like this. So that's the basic. These just need to be long enough to reach from your chiller, so you're going to need to know where your chiller and tank are going over to your tank. Your tank pieces, ideally you want to run a 10-gallon tank. I prefer the full under gravel setup like this because you can switch where your pump head needs to go and you don't have to worry about the flow underneath. When you first set up, you want to go through and clean your tank with isopropyl rubbing alcohol, make sure everything's clean and sterile. I've taken a second step and I've put styrofoam, rigid styrofoam insulation on the sides. That's something that's easily available from Home Depot. I've also set it on a piece of blue like camping foam on the bottom. Anything you can do to insulate the tank is nice because it keeps the temperature from cycling so much. You need two sizes of gravel. One is small, unwashed gravel, and again, you want to clean and rinse this through before. That goes into the bottom of the aquarium. It needs to be covered and packed around all the stand tubes so that's covered up. And that's important so the fry, when they hatch, can't swim down and under the under gravel filter. You'll also need some Noyo gravel, which are about a 2-inch, inch and a half to 2-inch gravel. And those you'll hand set in front of the tank to simulate a spawning redd. So these can be packed in to the front. You want to be careful not to drop them in because you don't want to crack the front of the glass. So you'll set those in. You don't need to fill the tank with these. We're just putting them in the front of the tank, again, to simulate what a spawning redd would be because that's where the eggs will be placed when they're delivered, and you'll be able to watch them develop. When they first hatch, you'll be able to see the sac alevin will be there, and then after a few days they'll appear to be gone because they'll swim into the rocks. And then in a couple weeks, you'll see the first ones swimming up into the water column. So about like that is plenty. far as the amount of gravel. Now I'm ready to place my power head. I have a piece that's going to go on the side to hold it in place, and this bottom can rotate so that it will fit into the stand tube properly, and then you'll still have room to connect it to the sidewall of the aquarium. So again, getting that set up and ready to go is what you want to do. So I check to see that it's got contact with the side. I'll get that on, and then that kind of locks it in place so it's ready to go. You have some controls over your flow down here, and those instructions are in with the chiller unit. Then my tubing comes up, and this S tube plugs right in to the pump. Set, that's direct because the pump's going to pump out, and it goes to the in tubing marked on your chiller unit. For the return, where it's coming out of the chiller and back in your tank, this can simply be zip tied to the other hose and entrain the air and water directly into the tank. The last thing you'll need to do is have some kind of a plastic top, and you want cutouts for where your cord exits the tank and where your tubing goes into the tank. So I've got my power cord coming out here, I've got my two tubes in here. I'm ready to plug in, add my water, and start chilling my tank to have it ready. You want to do this setup a couple weeks before you get your eggs to make sure that everything's up and running properly. When you have water in your tank, it's really important that you use spring water, not tap water, and especially not distilled water. Again, all of that information is in your materials for the STEP training, and my purpose was just to show you how this setup was going to go. This can be on this side, it could also be on this side. You have a lot of flexibility. The last thing you always need to do is you need to monitor your temperature. In spite of what the reading is on here, sometimes these sensors are off. You always want to verify with a direct reading monitor. I've got my top drilled so I can place an alcohol thermometer in. You can also get a small aquarium thermometer that would hang in over the side. I place this in, and then I can monitor my temperature. And I want to go by this thermometer, not this reading, because these can be off by as much as several degrees. Other than that, happy incubating.